All right, hey guys, we are here with OPA referee Damien Wilmot and his assistant Angelo, and we're here at their gym in Scarborough, and Damien's taking a little time to teach us how to make sure that our lifts get white lights when we make it to our meet.
Okay guys, today we're going to take a look at what a legal IPF squat looks like. Angelo's going to go ahead and get under the bar for us. The lifter is going to unrack the bar at will and stand motionless. The referees are going to make sure that he's not moving his feet. Knees are locked. Torso is fairly upright and the bar is motionless and he seems to be in control of the bar. Once the lifter is in this position, the referee will give the squat command. At that point, the lifter has all the time they want to make the squat. So this is what the depth requirement is. The top of the hip crease must pass the top of the patella. The lifter returns to the starting position, does not move his feet, knees are locked, stands erect, is in control of the bar, then waits for the referee to give the rack command, and then he may replace the bar.
Damien's going to give us examples of how a squat might get turned down. So what could a lifter do that would get a red light?
So we'll start from the beginning of the lift and work our way to the end of the lift. This may not immediately qualify for a red light, but the lifter won't get the squat command if his or her knees are not locked, if they're bent. So the knees must be completely locked at the beginning of the squat to get the command. The next thing that referee is going to look for is going to be the depth. So the lifter is going to squat to depth. We're watching the hip crease pass the knee, and he'll return to the squat position. Okay, so a bad squat would look like that. Hip crease above the top of the patella. The double bounce is another disqualification. So go ahead and double bounce. Okay. So once the bar has started to come up, it cannot go down again at any point in the squat. At the completion of the lifter must have his knees locked again. So start and the end of the lift must have locked knees. The next area for disqualification will be the step forward at the completion of the lift. So go ahead and squat, Angela. So any kind of movement before you get the rack command will result in a DQ or a red light.
And we see a lot of new lifters, don't we, Damien, that get excited that they got their lift off and put it on the rack before they get the rack command and end up getting their lift turned down even though they obviously had it and they were strong enough for it, but they just didn't wait for that rack command.
Right, sometimes it looks like this. They're going Angelo and squat, he finishes a beautiful lift, feet don't move, and then he goes in before the rack command, that's right. So you have to wait. Stand motionless until the referee says rack. And you'll see the referee actually move his or her hand towards themselves and say rack, then you can go in.
Next up, we're going to go over how to make sure your bench press gets 3 whites.
Okay guys, so we're going to go over the IPF standard rules for the bench press. First, we'll go through a successful attempt. Angelo is going to do a good bench for us. Once they're set up, the referee and the bar is motionless. The referee is going to give them a start command. Upon the start command, they bring it down to the chest. You'll get a press command. The lifter presses the bar and then racks it. Things that the referees are going to look for. First, the head must be on the bench. Secondly, elbows must be locked out. Third, bar must be motionless. Next, the hips must be on the bench. Feet must be on the floor completely flat. Feet cannot move once the start command has been given. And no part of the body, hips, shoulders, or head, may leave their elected position once the command has been given. At the completion of the lift, the elbows must be locked, bar must remain motionless, then you will get the rack command.
Damien, show us how a lift could get turned down. What are the things we need to look out for to make sure we don't get red lights?
Great. The bench press is actually very technical and there's a lot of areas that can go wrong, so let's cover them all. First of all, the elbows must be completely locked at the beginning of the lift, or the lifter will not get the start command. If the lifter brings the bar to the chest, pauses, gets the press command, but then comes down while going back up, that is going to be disqualified. You can get red lights for that. After the lifter gets the press command, if he or she makes incidental contact with the rack, that's okay. However, if the lifter uses the rack in a way that assists them, that is grounds for disqualification of the lift. The lifter must bring the bar down to the chest and pause there. If he or she does not make contact with the chest, they won't get the press command. After 5 seconds, the referee will tell them to press and then rack the bar. That is grounds for disqualification. Must make contact. The lifter also may not contact the belt at any point in the press. He or she brings the bar down, contacts the belt, press. That is also grounds for disqualification.
And what does it take to get a press command? So we have to show that we're in full control and the bar has stopped moving before we're called to press, right?
Right. The bar must remain completely motionless and in control. At the completion of the lift, the elbows must be locked. The lifter will not get the rack command until he or she has locked their elbows. If it exceeds 5 seconds, they'll get the rack command anyway and have a DQ'd lift. Once the lifter receives the press command, they must wait until the rack command before racking the bar. First area for disqualification, bring the bar down. The head may not move from the bench. And next, we have to make sure the hips do not leave the bench. Finally, the feet may not leave their elected position.
Now Damien is going to go over with Angelo's help how to make sure we get 3 whites on our deadlift.
Okay, so the deadlift is actually fairly easy to execute. Once you approach the bar, you can just bend down and pick it up when you're ready. You do not have to wait for a referee to start the lift. You do have to wait for the referee to tell you down. We're looking for locked knees. Okay, they can't be soft. We're looking for shoulders back, right? And the bar is in control and motionless. Then you'll get the down command.
And what happens if I let go of the bar when I bring the bar down?
So the lifter must return the bar to the floor under control. He or she may not slam it aggressively or let go of the bar.
And Damien, how can we get disqualified? What gets us reds on the deadlift?
Okay, so the lifter is going to approach the bar, bend down, pick it up. If the bar goes down during the course of it going up, that's called a hitch or up-down. That is cause for disqualification. Next, if the lifter rests the bar on his or her thighs, in order to assist in bringing the bar up, that is also cause for disqualification. At the top of the lift, if the knees are soft, that they will not get the down command, also cause for disqualification. If the shoulders are rounded forward and not locked back, and if the lifter moves his or her feet, they can rock between the toes and the heels, but you cannot actually move your feet.
Okay, that's everything you need to know about how to make sure your squat, bench, and deadlift pass at your OPA meet. Make sure you check us out online, and also look for our video about what to expect at your first meet if you're a new lifter.